Is going on. You guys can talk as fast as we can because, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what we got. We're ready to rock and roll.
Hi, how's it
Hello,
going?
ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to the local bizcast. Back at 8:30 a.m. Look at who I have here. Look at who I have.
Very excited to be here. I saw you building this podcast room, and I was like, when do I get to come on and be here with you?
You got on, you knew you were getting on, and it just worked out perfectly because just the other day, today we have a very cloudy day, of course, and so that only helps with the look around here, but I had to get you in here. We needed to get the blinds in here because it is blinding, and you did the video post. It was just the perfect segue to get you in here. So, but ladies and gentlemen, Sonie Skogerson, right here, Budget Blinds, New Jersey, a good friend of mine. We've known each other for how long now?
Over 12 years.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I am not that old. You're that old. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. But thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you for having me. Very excited to be here today.
It worked out perfectly.
It did.
I'm telling you. And we were just messing around, guys. I'm sorry because we were just making fun of my front office desk staff over here, my team up over there, because it is so desperate that we need Sonie in here right now. That the windows from the top of our office, it's all glass. The sun at this time of the year is just right at eye level. And so we had to buy these little visors for everybody.
Okay, this was the most creative thing I think I've seen when it comes to sun control.
Yeah.
So I'm going to post this on my story later of your team wearing their visors because the sun is blaring down. So when they're sitting on their computers, people coming in, they're blinded, literally blinded.
It has only been hysterical. And we didn't know that because this is the only time of the year. This is a brand new office. We just opened it in February. So we haven't had a year here. We don't know the angles of the sun, anything. It's been hysterical. I feel bad though, because they were being blinded. And then of course, Kerry, my vice president, has the brilliant idea of getting these visors. And at first I'm just making fun of him. And I'm like, I love it.
Selling visors, saying budget blinds. So while you're waiting temporarily for your shades to come in, because we work on commercial spaces like this all the time, and the sun is the biggest issue. So I'm actually going to do visors for budget blinds. And I'm going to talk about this at the next convention. This is your temporary fix until your shades come in.
And you're branding with novelty items that it's effective, functional novelty items that do this.
Except if it was me, I'd be selling hot pink visors to everybody or just giving them to you.
You got to go. You got to get brand colors. You have to, if you want to do this, you want to be next level. And this is something we could talk about in business. You got to be considerate of the potential business customers that you're working with.
100%.
We actually talked a little bit about that this morning.
I know. It's all about branding and your image and everything, right?
And things have changed the way, oh my God. I'm going to let you get into that though, because tell us a little bit more. All right. So Budget Blinds, if you guys don't know, it's a blind company. And they do all different types of blinds. I'm not even going to venture to begin to explain it. I will let you do this, but that is who you have been with. So tell me about that. I want to know.
So we do shutters, shades, blinds, drapery. I do custom upholstery. I work with a ton of interior designers. We do so many different things. So Budget Blinds is actually a franchise.
Wait, you do custom upholstery of
like you want a velvet paneled wall behind your bed, which I would do a lot with designers right now. You want to upholster dining room
Who doesn't
chairs.
want a velvet panel wall behind their bed? I've never met anybody. It doesn't make any sense.
Nobody says no to that.
That's impossible.
But like fun, out of the box things, we do a lot of that too. So that's not just budget blinds. Like I joke, I'm budget blinds. I'm more like bougie blinds.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make
if
sense?
Anybody knows Sonie, you know that she is not lying. Hold on,
so we're a budget for every style. So I can do a window for $100. I could also do it for $10,000. So
have you done a $10,000 window?
Oh gosh, yeah, and more.
One $10,000 window.
You can automate it and do a fabulous shade that's automated, and you can do custom drapery on top with fabulous hardware. So yeah, it depends. Whatever you want, we can do anything you want. So that's what makes it fun and creative, right? So there's about 1,200 franchises in Canada and the U.S. So I own 3 of them in Bergen County.
Okay.
And there's a couple more that I'm very good friends with the owner. So like I don't go below Route 4 normally. Then you go to Peter, or if you're a little further west, you go to Sal. And we're
give him a shout. Peter who? Who is it? Yeah.
Peter Choi. He's Budget Blinds at Edgewater and Hoboken. He's fabulous.
Next on the podcast, maybe? No, that's competition.
No, it's not competition. We work together. Like everybody's like, can you come to Edgewater? I'm like, I don't go below Route 4. Call Peter. He's fantastic.
Awesome.
Same thing with my friend Sal Militello. So Sal's been in this business for over 25 years.
Rookie.
He is the godfather. He knows everything. Right?
All right. And where's his territory?
So he's Mahwah, Kinnelon, and Wayne.
Okay.
So he's all over that way, right?
Got it.
But we work together. We actually do travel together. We do conventions together, business. We actually do a monthly breakfast together because it's one thing about business is when you're an entrepreneur and you're doing things by yourself, you can get a little lonely. So you got to build your network of people that you rely on and do best practices with and talk with, right? So I have a couple different groups I work with, and one of my budget blinds crew is part of them. And we all talk like what's working, what's not, what's new, because you always have to be learning as well, right?
It's your peer group that I mean, that's exactly how you guys push forward. Yes. I happen to agree, and even in my business, right? I mean, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I'm sure you have a networking business with people you talk to. You something go on, and you're like, crap, I don't know what to do. Like, you need to reach out to somebody who has more experience and say, hey, how do I handle this situation? You get into a legal issue, like something. You need to like talk to other people, right?
That's it. We talked on the last podcast. Like somebody's opening up a business, they're going into like a brick and mortar. Like, I mean, people have to know you have to get permits. Like, permits. What are you talking about? Permits, or how do you build this, or blah, 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 all these little things. And that's why I'm so happy that you brought this up, because I want people to watch this and not understand, different people's businesses and how we can help them, but also the trip, the origin, the background, what got you to where you are. How did you do that? And what are some of the tips that you can give? So you got to go all the way back. We got to go back 12 years ago.
So I'm going to go back. So I worked in fashion for 15 years.
That's where we met.
In New York City. So when I actually moved out to Bergen County, stopped working, had a couple little kids, and I was doing
those guys.
I had a little side business. I was doing personal shopping because I was at home with the kids. I didn't want to go into the city anymore. And I had a couple people that started hiring for personal shopping, and my neighbor referred me to Pete.
Yep.
To shop for Kelly, your wife.
Yep.
So I would get these fabulous gifts for Kelly. I was doing this probably for like 2 years.
That's when she liked to be the best. Yeah.
What did she say? She got this fabulously wrapped gift, and she's like, "You didn't do that."
That was not you. That was not you. Did she know you at the time? I don't remember. At that time, she goes, "Yeah."
Met Kelly.
So she was super proud of me for even finding you. And so I'm going to shout out to Dave. Thank you very much for the introduction.
Dave Dermo, thank you. You set this
You get that, buddy.
Yes. So I don't think I even met Kelly for 2 years. I remember you calling me. You're like, and then I bought the franchise. And I came in to do blinds one time, but I was still shopping for Kelly. I didn't keep a lot of clients, but I kept you guys as clients because I love shopping for Kelly. And then also I had back issues at the same time. So I was going to Spine and Health Center, the old location in Montvale.
Yep.
And then I remember I called you. I'm like, Pete, I'm in bad shape. You got to take care of me. You're like, I'm not here. I'm at a different location. Like, go see Kelly. I'm like, Kelly? Oh my God, I've been shopping for Kelly for 2 years, but I've never met her.
Oh my God, I didn't even know this. This is news for me too. So
I walk in, I see Kelly. I'm wearing some crazy coat. She's like, what is that? Where did you get that? We start talking. She's like, you're never seeing Pete again. You're mine now.
Did she know before she saw you? She knew you were her.
I believe you're here. Yeah.
That's where I went wrong. Otherwise, I would still have the upper hand. She would still like me. Now I got to find a new Sonie. But anyway.
So that's how it started. And then Kelly and I just worked with Kelly because I had back issues for a long time. Fantastic. Your whole team actually fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, in the closer location, amazing because that's closer to me.
Yep.
But yeah, started that, and in the middle of that, I bought a franchise. Actually, I bought a couple of them. So we were doing window treatment. So if you would have told me, Sonie, you're going to be selling blinds, what?
Right.
So no, that's not going to translate, right? So basically, I joke. I used to be a fashionista. I used to dress men. I worked in men's fashion for 15 years, right? So now I'm the window fashionista. So I dress.
Okay.
I dress windows now instead of people.
Okay.
A little bit easier. Right?
Well, because they don't have to. There's not a lot of feedback, right? Yeah. So
they don't complain as much. Watching men never complain. They were easy to dress most of the time.
Obviously, if you're buying this for me, I obviously look good in this. We're not going to question that. I mean, men might be big dumb animals, but we absolutely know that if you're like, ooh, yeah, that's the way to go.
Wear this. Yeah,
all right, sounds good to me.
So I started moving into the blind business, and basically we worked with a franchise consultant at the time where they team you up, they pair you up, they want to know what have you done in the past, what are your expertise, and when you're working with a franchise consultant, and I worked with one, Tana Hutchinson out of San Diego. Fantastic, loved her. And she was like, how much do you want to invest? Do you want to be involved in the business? Do you want to be a silent partner? And I was like, I don't want to travel into New York City anymore. So that was my thing. I wanted to be in Bergen County. So she started teaming us up with like franchises, what was around, and see what made sense. So she brought up budget blinds. And I'm like, blinds. I'm like, I'm not selling blinds.
Budget blinds. I was New York City fashionista. You're going to throw budget blinds over here.
I was like, I don't know about this. And then they just launched their drapery collection at that time. So all the drapery and the design and the fabric. I'm like, that's what won me over. I was like, okay, now you got me. So that was my, like, I'm in, right? So we ended up buying the franchises. Blinds. Oh my God, who knew they could be sexy and fun and fabulous? But they are.
Mine are awesome.
Yeah. So
everywhere. House, all my businesses.
Yeah. And everybody needs them, right? So I have a great team now of about 8 people, but my specialty is like, I love all the drapery. I love working with high-end interior designers. As I said, the velvet panel wall, like I take it to the next level. We're not just doing window treatment, right? Just blinds, right? We do.
I want to see this velvet panel wall, by the way.
And this is what I tell everybody. When you say, oh, the blind lady is coming. Okay, that's what you say. When you say the window treatment lady is coming, it just got really expensive.
Got it.
Went from blinds to window treatments.
You got to know where your customers at. So you can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. We're going to put you in.
Exactly. But we do everything. So, I mean, I'll go to a lot of new construction houses. People just bought a house. They have 40 windows. Okay, you don't want to be spending $40,000 on window treatments for your new house.
Right.
You can if you want to, but let's be honest. Let's put like basic, inexpensive blinds in certain areas you don't use all the time in those high traffic areas like kitchen, primary bedroom. We'll do something a little bit nicer. So you do a budget for every style.
She knows it all, guys. This makes it too easy. That's another thing. What a horrible thing. What a horrible compliment for her. You make it too easy. And that's just awesome. For people like us who are busy as heck, that you make it easy.
Well,
there's no obstacles.
So basically, whenever you need something in your life, you find the expert, right? So there's a lot of things I don't do. I find the expert. They help me and tell me what to do. I don't have time. So I outsource
building your
so
team.
much stuff. Yeah, exactly. You find the people that do everything great.
There's a common theme here. Yeah. There's a common theme.
Yeah. And as you like building your business, like what's your favorite part of your business? You like doing this right now, the podcast, talking. You're like me, you're social, networking. Like my 10-year-old told me today, if there wasn't a word for talking, you would win it.
Yeah.
I'm like, thanks, Liv.
By the way, if you don't know, you can tell the speed here. If you guys can keep up with us, let me tell you, the speed, the energy, everything we got right over here, you guys are all in trouble if you're going to have to listen.
You might have put us on slow mode just to catch the words, right?
Do you? Okay, so I listen to audiobooks on like 1.25, 1.5. You guys are going to have to listen to this at like 0.75, 0.5 if you want to catch.
So. Yes, I know both of us. I've only had 2 cups of coffee, but I think I'm naturally like this. Like
from the second I wake up until the second I go to sleep, it's our superpower. I mean, my wife will call it not a superpower, but it's like, come on, who else? And I mean, we're not young anymore. I still have this energy from the second I wake up to the second I go to sleep.
I'm very much a 5:30 to 9 kind of person. So I tell everybody I'm not wild and crazy. Like I'm up early, but I'm like a disaster by 9 o'clock.
9 p.m. That's it. So it's like
I might go a little later, but it depends. I like
getting you out on a Friday or Saturday night. You're like, oh, I gotta be home by 9.
No. On the weekend is a little different.
Okay, good.
But
all right.
Friday nights, I'm like, Saturday nights,
all right.
So it just depends. It depends on how my days are and what's going on. But I like to get up early and work out. Like I have my whole schedule. Like people are like,
that's it.
Yeah.
Are you a 5 a.m. clubber?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm one of those. I know.
Ooh, that's tough. I know it's good. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there. If you guys are listening, that's like, they say, highly successful, the 5 a.m. club.
Between 5 and 7, I get my best work done. So, and that's like personal, a little bit of business, everything, and then set your day up and go.
And then boom. Yes. All right. I'm learning.
But if we were doing this at 8:30 at night, you'd be like, Sonie, are you awake? I mean, I'd still be talking fast.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. It's almost like a fake fast type of thing. I get it.
Yeah. Like my brain's not all in there. So
we digress. Go back into budget blinds. Yes. So now here you go. You got sold. The drapery just started. So you buy the franchise.
So we buy the franchise, and in the beginning, you're doing everything yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like you're doing all the sales. Like I don't have anybody in the office right now. You're doing the books, everything, right? Okay, well, I'm not installing because I don't install anything.
Got it.
Let's be clear
so
on that.
Okay, hold on. Do they have a team?
No,
do they tell you how to do that? You have to find these people.
So we actually found a referral from one of my friends. He's like, oh, I worked this guy. He does it for Home Depot. Call him. So Chris started working for me. Chris is still with me. This is like years later. He's fantastic. He has his own team of installers now. And then one of my friends is like, oh, call my dad. He's retired and he'll probably come work for you. He's bored, right? Okay. So the dad is Phil, who's been with me for 12 years since day one. He's probably done all the blinds here.
He absolutely was here.
And he's fantastic and he knows everybody, right? So you get people tell you. That's why you have to talk to everybody. This is where you find your people, right?
I find I train my staff. I train my kids. If you want something, you have to go get it. And the people who have it are just, the difference is they just went and got it. And it's not that difficult. Sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone for some people. For me, obviously, we're social. There's things that are uncomfortable for us that may be more comfortable for other people. But the idea is if you need something, if you want something, just go out and get it. Go ask for it. What is the worst case scenario? What, people say no? Right. Next,
no, you gotta keep put it going. Out there. Like anything you need, tell people this is what I need. This is what I'm looking for. Right?
I feel like that's in life. And who am I to pontificate here? But I feel like that's in life, in business, in everything. Like I just, I don't care if I fail. I don't think it's a failure because I'll just keep on going until I get what we need. We do what we need.
Yes.
So
anyway. Put it out there.
So you found these people.
I have a great install team. They've been with me forever. And then I have an office manager. I remember when I hired her, I think I hired her like 7 years ago. This when I was like, I need somebody to keep me organized. She came in, I interviewed a ton of people and she was like, I've been a stay-at-home mom for 7 years. I'm like, what did you do before? She tells me, I'm like, great. I liked her energy. I liked her vibe. Hide her on the spot. I'm like, your job is to keep me organized.
Is that possible? How's she doing?
No, she's great. She's phenomenal.
Okay. If you guys are drinking rosé all day in the afternoon, I don't know, like, you know.
No, she's on my case all the time.
Good.
Like,
Okay.
what I need, right? Because I'm the designer type. I'm like, my desk is like a bomb.
You're a visionary. You're not the operator. I get it.
So, and I don't want to be. Put me behind a desk. I don't sit well.
No.
Like, I can sit for about 3 hours and then
That's what we're not good at, right? So see that? I mean, we could good at talk. I could talk to people. I can't sit behind a desk.
So, and that's what, but trying to find out what your skills are and harnessing that so you can use it to your full potential too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can sit there and do the paperwork and do all that, but I'm much better in the field than talking to people or designing, etc. Right?
Yep.
So I have to say, hire to your weaknesses, right? Like this is like small business. But so I hire people in my office that take care of all the fabulousness, keep me organized. I joke, they run the scene. People ask me when your blind's coming in. I'm like, I have no idea. I'm like, okay, let's talk to them.
Yeah.
But also it's a small office. You're not calling a 1-800 number when you get it. You're getting Donna or Christine, unless it's after business hours. And that's like you too. It's like you have somebody you're always talking to. It's like everybody knows you.
You know what? My team is trying to fight with me, and I'm sorry because I want to have a third party coming over here. My team is fighting, but yes, my business is growing. We've had upwards of 4 locations. I've had 15 other locations ever like that, and people have been trying to talk me into getting one of those automated responser, things like press 1 for this. I will never do that. I don't want to do that. How important is it to have a human being on the other side of that phone, to answer that phone, to say hello, to be a person, to be a human, right? Would you agree?
I think it's so important because it also makes you stand out as that small business. Right?
There you go, too.
And somebody said to me the other day, they called in, and this is like another client I went to. She's like, I called in, we saw you guys like 5 years ago, and something was broken. I called my office, and she's like, Donna or Christine answered. They were able to find out what the blind was that was broken, call me back in 5 minutes and said, okay, we'll have it reordered and have it redone in a couple of weeks. And they're like, wait, what? That was like the easiest process ever.
We set this common theme, easy, making it easy,
yes.
removing the obstacles.
Like, you still have the same installers. I'm like, yeah, my team's been with me for a very long time. Right?
Yeah.
And they're fantastic. So
longevity.
They're like family, right? So,
yeah.
But I think that little personal touch, because I am a small business too, same thing. I think, and we're only in Bergen County too. So it's, I don't know. I like that little personal touch. We still send thank you notes to clients. Handwritten thank you notes. Okay, who does that anymore? Nobody does. Because direct mail and paper has gone to the wayside.
Yep.
But now, if you actually get a handwritten note from somebody, you're like, oh my God, that's so nice, because nobody does it anymore.
I personally think the exact same thing. I can't believe it when I get a handwritten note. When I get a handwritten note, I think it's printed. Like, it's like the printed handwriting. I'm like, I don't believe it. But at least you get to me open, and then you see the actual handwritten note, and wow.
These are the little details that people don't do anymore, like small businesses, right? So it just makes you stand out and be a little bit different, right? So
yeah, we talked about this earlier, right? I mean, a little bit of the younger generation may not understand the importance of that. I mean, we were just talking about like the way people dress when they go to like Broadway shows and like ripped jeans and t-shirts and stuff.
Hoodies, my kids included, and it drives me insane. I'm like, put on a nice shirt, take off your Crocs. I'm like, no hoodies allowed.
There was this feeling like that you would get, like, I'm going to a Broadway show. I'm going to get a little, like, I'm not talking about tuxedos and suits and ties. Like we were talking about airplanes. Like people used to get dressed to the nines, top hats and canes to get on an airplane. I understand being comfortable and everything like that on an airplane, but there's certain areas, like certain things, Broadway, this, that, the other. In business, you show up, you're running a business. It's like you dress to impress a little bit type of thing, Look at Sonie right over here. Come on.
I always dress, right? So I have a fight with my franchise all the time because they want you to wear a Budget Blinds t-shirt.
Got it.
So I'm never going to do that.
Don't tell Budget.
Earmuffs, Budget Blinds.
Did we just lose a sponsorship? They're on all TVs.
But my whole team is head to toe Budget Blinds.
There we go. Okay.
Because they're installers. They're walking to the house. You have the wrapped van. You're showing up. You've got the polo and the jacket and the fleece. They have so much Budget Blinds gear. I don't know what to do with it.
I mean, we're talking about triple letters here. You're not supposed to be wearing the triple letters all
I'm not. Okay?
All right. There you go.
I don't know. For me, I'm like the fashion girl, right?
Yeah.
So I need my fashion pieces.
That's it. I mean, that's your niche. That's what
I'm going to a golf tournament or something that's a sponsorship, okay, I will throw in a polo with Budget Blinds.
All right.
Hot, pink, and cute. But,
it's got to be cute.
I mean,
it's got to be cute.
Yeah, it's other.
Again, look at where your background was from. Of course, it has to be cute.
So this is why I become the window fashionista, right? So I used to dress people. Now I dress windows. It's fun, and also like when you're in this. So people ask me this, like, how did you get into this? Why are you doing this? Because they said if you would have said, Sonie, you're selling blinds in 15 years, I'd be like, you're hilarious. No,
right?
What, right? But my whole little niche is now it's like find something you're good at and you like to do and then become the best in that business, in that industry.
Okay. What does that take?
A lot of time and dedication. A lot. So when I first bought this business, I knew like, I want to do this and this and this. How do you actually get that up there without making a mistake and doing it right? Or so much learning, right? So I harassed a lot of people who are really good in this business. I call them on a daily basis. How do I do this? What do I do? You just called them.
You went out and got it. You just called them.
Totally.
Pick up the phone.
And there's people at Budget Blinds. They have amazing training too. So whoever was the drapery expert, I think it was my friend Sherry at the time, I would call her and be like, once a week we'd have a call and go over stuff. Might have been a call at 9 o'clock at night after my kids went to bed.
Right.
So you're always working. It's not like this, like, oh, let me do 4 hours a day. Always, especially when you buy business, you're working 12, 14, 16-hour days. I still have little kids running around, but you're always working. As you get a little bit into your business and set a little bit, like you're 3 to 5, we probably got a little bit more referral, repeat business, like the business started taking traction. Now I'm in year 12. So the majority of our business is repeat and referral, huge, right? But the other thing that's really changed in the last couple of years, and you're going to agree with me, is the social media landscape.
Yes.
So that is one of the best ways to get your business out there. And I did a little presentation of Budget Blinds a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking about social media, and everybody's like, "Oh, we don't know how to do it." Blah blah. The social media. I said, okay,
you became the expert.
Yes. So I was like, "Look at this. See this thing? Every one of your kids, who's probably like 14, 15, 20, whatever in your house, has one of those. Hire them to do your social media on Instagram. They can do it in your sleep. So hire your kids to do that."
Right.
So, because they're all like, "Oh, it's too hard for us to do it." I said, "Yeah, but then you got to hire somebody to do it for you if you can't be doing it."
Know your strengths. We said that before.
Exactly. So, but it's one of the best things. So I get so many leads from Instagram now. I have designers finding me from other parts of the country who are like, "Oh, I'm working on a project in Woodcliff Lake. Can you come and help me on it?" From Instagram.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Or I roll up to somebody's house. I'm like, "Oh, I did your neighbor's house. Oh, I didn't know that. I found you on Instagram."
Yeah. Make it easy for them. You're searching. You're putting it out there. Now, see, I'm going to have to hire out social media. My problem is like, okay, I know I'm going to hire out at some point. I want to do something for the local bizcast and some of the other things, but I wanted to know, I'm in my late 40s. All right. I was before computers, before Google, before everything. So it's like, I like to learn things first and then I can outsource it and feel comfortable that, okay, you're doing it correctly. I have
somebody for you when you're ready. So
this is a long runway, man, because it's taking me a long time, and I'm like, I got to get this thing out of here because obviously you guys could probably tell if you see any of my local bizcast promotions. I'm playing with things. I'm doing this. I don't love it, but it's.
But that's how you learn. You
have to learn
somewhere, right? So even with the social media, I have somebody. I actually used to spin with her at Cycle Bar. This is what she does. I'm like, okay, help me. She did a course. I worked with her and did a course with her, and she's like, so she really helped me up my game. And she does this for local businesses. So. You gotta always have to be learning and figuring stuff out.
This is what we're talking about,
right? So I can't get bored. If I get bored, it's like
all right. I'm gonna use her girl. Sorry guys, if you see a complete shift and change in our marketing going on over here with the local bizcast, you'll know exactly what happened. It happened right here at this time. So
like I was like, why isn't Budget Blinds flashing?
We are going. Well, we talked about that. We have to.
I do love it. This room is fabulous. You guys did awesome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I love it. I mean, and again, you create the environment that makes it awesome, and it's like it's so easy. Yes. Doesn't matter if I'm here 6 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. It's like I'm going to the podcast room, the podcast studio over here.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. All right. So you got the Budget Blinds. We know what we got going on. We talked about some of the challenges and building a team and everything like that. What are your current needs? What could Sonie and Budget Blinds use from the public out here?
I mean, for me, my biggest thing is networking and letting people know what you do, right? So I think a lot of times people say Budget Blinds and they think they're really inexpensive, cheap blinds, right?
Right.
Which
because of the name,
right. We can be, but we also do super high end. We do everything. But what we do is we actually come to you. So we don't have a storefront where you can come in and go get blinds. We come to you. We measure your windows. We design. We bring fabrics, samples, whatever it is you need.
Yep.
And we measure and give you a quote, usually on the spot. If not, we send it the next day. And then it's a 3 to 5 week turnaround time. And then my guys come in and install it. So we're like one.
Can you make it any more difficult? I mean, Jesus, it's so hard. You just have to sit in your house and then I want this, and then you produce this, and then you tell them exactly what it's going to be, exactly what it's going to cost, and exactly when it's going to happen.
And most people say that. They're like, I didn't know this was so easy, right? Because here's the thing. If I walk into a tile store, I'm like, oh my God, I like this. I like that. I'm like
it's a diner menu. Right? It is too much.
And I'm a designer, but it's too much for me, right?
Yep.
For me, I'm like, oh, pretty shiny. I get distracted, right? So if you have somebody come into your house and say, okay, you need this and this blind. Here's 2 options for blinds. This is what you're going to work for your needs, right? It's usually sun or privacy. And then be like, here's the 4 best colors for you and the 4 best fabrics. I'm not bringing in books and books and books. I narrow it down for you. This is my expertise. This is what I've been doing. So I know what works best for you.
So you know, the chiropractor who knows absolutely nothing about this, you're going to take care of that for us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect. All right.
Exactly. So you hire who knows what they're doing, right? So, and then I also do it like you could also do this. It's a little bit more fun. It's a little bit more designery, give you options. Here's A, B, and C. Here's 3 options for you. Let me know what you like, right? And then, we turn around in like 3 to 5 weeks or even faster. Depends on the product, what's going on. We're local. We come to you, we make it easy, and we do everything.
What can you tell me behind the scenes? I am a behind the scenes type of person, right? I know everybody's like watching this camera as it's on us over here, but I was telling her before, I am the person that wants to watch the camera from outside the door over there, watching us make this over here.
Okay,
so what can you tell me about something behind the scenes?
My best videos on Instagram is usually when I have installers climbing on ladders and doing the drilling. And I also like to scan the whole room. Like, you have these beautiful images you get after the job is done, but what's going on during? It's like total mess. There's stuff everywhere, right? Yes. So I like the behind the same thing. Behind this, I think that's more interesting.
Well, and you're OCD, ADD like me, so you want to see, oh my God, there's a mess, and it makes me unbelievable. And then at the end, it's all clean and freaking perfect. And I'm like,
But now I just do a lot of behind the scenes because you want the full story. So, and that's it. It doesn't have to be perfect when you're doing Instagram and social media.
Right.
Everybody thinks I can't post it because it's not perfect. Okay, how many things do I post that's it's not perfect, but it's real? I'm like, you're in the moment, like right now. Yep. This isn't getting edited.
No.
I know.
You're live.
Be careful I don't swear. I'm doing a really good job. Right?
We have both done it. We're both cursors. We talk about that all the time. It's not the best thing in the world, but I don't think we've even let one slip yet.
I know we're doing pretty good.
I mean, we've got a few minutes left. We can still get one out there over there. So it does say, I have to click on the thing. I don't know if you guys do YouTube Live, but it does say, is this made for kids? I do write no on that because just in case I slip, I don't want to mess anything up. So if you want to let one slip, go right ahead.
No, good.
I might push her a little bit.
I'm trying to be very good on that.
We can take bets in the last 5 minutes over here. Over, under. We'll see what happens.
You think like passionate about something that really comes out?
I like it. I like it. So, all right. So that was your behind the scenes over there, but we've got to get back to what are you looking for? Are you looking for? Do you need more installers? Do you need more customers? Do you need vendors? What can we do to help Sonie and Budget Blinds?
Looking. I never say no. Like people I want to come work for you. Let's talk. So it depends what you always need to build to your team, always, right? And even when you don't need it, still always bring them on because you never know when you're going to need it. So it's just like when you want to go shopping, you want to find that perfect black dress. When you want to go shopping,
I always have that problem. I need to know that perfect black dress. I haven't found it yet.
Or like when I need to hire an installer right now, it's hard to find them.
Correct.
So if you find somebody who's great, bring them on. You never know.
Couldn't agree with you more. It's so funny because we have this issue right now with our employees, and it's like, okay, now we're fully staffed because we're looking, but we have another really just an amazing person. And I always say, if you find an amazing person, we hire them. We'll figure out the spot for them because it'll make it for itself.
100%.
So
or you just find a place for them, right?
Yep.
So
exactly.
And right now we're actually running a great sale. But if you mention the podcast,
extra off. This is the first time. This is the first time we have one of these. I'm excited. Go ahead. Let's go.
So I mean, I always take care of like my Bergen County moms Facebook groups, all that. But if you mention the podcast, you get a little extra discount. So so I mean, why not, right?
I feel important. I've brought this to the community, a local bizcast podcast deal over here with Sonie Skogerson. Skogerson. How do you say it right? Skogerson. I got that right. So now she's gonna curse.
Gets it right. Don't worry. It took me like 6 months to learn it myself. So don't worry. It took a while.
So and if I have it wrong, I'm gonna correct it on all the social media and stuff like that. So you heard it here first. Local Bizcast is gonna give you that. You've won some awards and stuff like that, some accomplishments and all that kind of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just local little Sonie. I used to be in fashion. I'm dabbling in the Budget Blinds. This woman has now become like a major player at Budget Blinds and in this business. Can you tell me a little bit about that before we have to go?
So Budget Blinds is great. They always have like $1 million award every year. I think I've been part of that for like 6 or 7 years. Now that was a big accomplishment.
Look at her minimizing this right now.
When you start this business, nobody realizes the blood, sweat, and tears you go into it, right? You're working all the time. So to hit some of these milestones, you think it's going to be a lot easier than it is. It's not. You're constantly working. Even now, I'm constantly working. Like I work all the time, right? I have a good balance with kids and work and stuff, but I still this is my baby. I'm going to take care of it. And, I have 3 kids. This is my 4th, right? So I'm always, but my biggest thing, I love like networking and talking and this. So so there's always awards. I used to win a lot of the drapery awards too. Like that
was your thing.
My wheelhouse.
Fashionista. Yeah. Now you're the window fashionista. Exactly. We got to be, is there something like a drapanista? We make up a new one?
Drapanista. I'll let them know that. That's
good. I mean, that's the way, that's what brought you in. I mean, that was it. They sold you. It was the woman from California was the consultant. So,
So, and my other thing is like networking and helping other franchise owners. So a lot of people come in and they're new and I'm like, what can I do to help you? That's why I do these breakfasts, like always networking, talking. I talk to so many new people looking at buying the franchise, see if they're a fit. So they have like a brand ambassador award at Budget Blinds, which is great. So I won that a few years ago as well. Can you shocking because I don't talk to anybody, obviously.
No, we're very quiet. We talk very slowly and we don't talk very loud.
I think helping people in the business is huge and helping each other. And like sometimes I'll be like, oh, this person's great. They're down the shore. Use them. And everybody's like, well, what are you going to get out of it? I'm like, I'm helping my local budget blinds owner. If they succeed, I succeed. We take care of each other, right? Absolutely. I don't need anything for it. I want them to do well.
We had this conversation. If everybody in the world wanted to get blinds and they need them, there's not enough of you guys to do all that business. So all it does is it's not competition. It brings more awareness for people, right? The more budget blinds out there, the more budget blinds is out there. The more you see chiropractic or physical therapy or occupational therapy, there's not enough providers in this world to take care of what the people's needs are. They may not know that yet. Same thing with the blinds. Just get out there. Help.
Yes. And so the more you can help each other, the better. And even like, so I even have a little group where I work with a couple interior designers and everybody else. And we like go meet for coffee, just talk best practices in business too. I love doing that because how can you help each other? Like I remember talking to one of the designers and she's like, oh, I'm doing this in cash flow. And I'm like, well, why are you only taking 50%? I said, your standard like fee is not that high. Take 100% up front. Like just get the money up front. You should. It's like there's certain things in business you're like you have to, right? Because otherwise it's going to affect your business.
Especially when you're young and new at the business and you don't really know it. Yeah, I mean,
if you go to Home Depot and buy blinds, you're paying everything up front.
You're paying everything up front.
Right. So why are we not doing that? So right. So there's all these little things you got to like, but knowing and talking to other people, this is how you figure it out, right?
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Sonie, I can't believe it. Our half an hour is up.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost like we may need a part 2 here. I don't know. Sonie,
maybe a best business practices and we really hone in on it. And it could be any business because it's not just
do you guys think
chiropractor. I don't know.
Do you guys think we have our new co-host over here? What do you think? Maybe we bring in a third over here. I have this chair over here. You guys can't see it over there, but Sonie, Budget Blinds, New Jersey. Thank you so much. I could do this all day. I don't know. I hope you guys are listening to this one because I could definitely do this all day. The energy in this room is fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me. So fun. And you're going to get your new shades on Monday.
I'm getting my new, and we're going to put this all over social, by the way. I'm going to let you know. And don't forget, local bizcast with Sonie Budget Blinds. A little deal out there for you guys. Thank you again. I'm going to announce my next guest on the local bizcast. That's going to be next Wednesday morning, right before Thanksgiving. So you've got some big shoes. My next guest, it's Jen Erity, is going to be joining us next week. That's November 27th, 8:30 in the morning again. So, ladies and gentlemen, Sonie Budget Blinds, New Jersey. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Pete. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. Bye, guys.